When things like this happen, it's such a double-edged sword for me because I get really motivated and inspired to talk about issues like this and to combat ideas that are super not body positive and to talk about ideas that are stupid and borderline just funny to hear people try to make sound reasonable, and ultimately sort of put my own opinion out there that combats some of these super harmful things that we continue to fuel into society, right? So on one hand, it's really good because I make videos and I talk about my opinion, but on the other hand, I'm just angry, and it's hard to argue with people who have thoughts like the ones I'm going to be expressing in this video, the ones that I'm going to be rebuttaling against in this video. It's hard to know that there are people still like this in the world. So hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello, my name is Loey. If you are new to my channel and you are just stumbling across this video, I talk about a lot of things here on the internet. A lot of the times I am telling ghost stories, or I'm telling stories from my own personal life, or I'm talking about plus size fashion or makeup. But another thing that is super important to me is the topic of body positivity. I have a body positive lifestyle range that is available in Targets everywhere, as well as on Amazon Prime. It's called Love Anybody, and it is my pride and joy. So this is something that I take super, super seriously. So I've seen the response that Nike has been receiving for placing a plus size model in one of their stores. And it ranges everywhere from celebratory to people downright saying that it is disgusting and Nike should be ashamed of themselves. I think what's laughable is that Nike already carried plus sizes. I actually just bought a bunch of plus size leggings from them last month, weirdly. But the outrage simply stems, it seems anyways, from the fact that there is a plus size mannequin in store. There's a whole lot of frustration over a fat hunk of plastic. I've just never seen anything dumber. They're not even mad over a fat person. They're not even mad at a human who is fat. They are mad at a piece of plastic. They are mad at a mannequin. We aren't even allowed to make things that look like fat bodies. But I'm getting carried away with myself. I'm sorry. It's been kind of a fat phobic day and I'm just a little bit heated up. Somebody had the audacity earlier to tell me that I am sick right now, which you can probably hear in my voice, because of my diet and not because there is a massive cold and flu going all around Los Angeles that everyone is catching, including my friends, like 12 sizes smaller than me. But yeah, it's really my diet, Linda. Thank you so much. There is one ultimate response to this that I am going to be focusing on and commentating back to in this video. But before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit over the overwhelming response that this is just a bad thing. Our society, both in the United States and the United Kingdom, all around the world, is the overwhelming idea that fat bodies are shameful or are something to change, are harmful, so on and so forth. And the overwhelming way that so many people try to come at this, when they're not just coming at it with fat bodies are disgusting or fat bodies are unsightly, or, you know, it's not just from their overwhelming I don't want to look at you point of view. The other excuse is that it is for our health. It is because they care that they want to point out how fat we are. They care that we're gonna die from being so obscenely fat. Ultimately, they want us to lose the weight and they want us out of their hair. They being these people who believe that portraying fatness or plus sizeness in any form is harmful or dangerous. Why then, to these people, would you discourage of all things, if your ultimate goal is to get the fatness out of your face, why would you discourage Nike? Nike, a workout brand. I am told on a daily basis to stop eating and go work out. Why would you discourage the working out? Just the absolute hypocrisy of it all and the stupidity here is unparalleled to me. And I think it really is such a symbol in this that they don't care about our health. They just don't want us around. And if I sound angrier in this video than I normally do, it's because I am. Usually I can come at these things from a loving and gentle standpoint, but this is the ultimate pinnacle of stupidity. In any anti-body positivity argument I've ever seen to date. You don't want us portrayed in fashion magazines. You don't want us to be fashionable or beautiful or accepted, but you also don't want us to lose weight. I literally, truly think this is such a representation of the fact that there are so many people out there who legit just want us to crawl in a hole and never be seen again. I don't freaking know. But let's talk about the reason that we are here today. There's an article on The Telegraph, which is a UK website, written by a woman named Tanya Gold, and that is what I am going to be responding to today. For legal reasons, I have to remind you that this rebuttal and these comments are just opinions and they are my own. I mean no harm with them. I don't wish ill upon anyone, but I do think that this is a dangerous, disgusting article, in my expert opinion, and I think it could be really harmful if someone were to read it who was in a difficult place in their own skin, because even reading it myself, I can't begin to express to you the feelings that it instilled in me. I base my whole life pretty much on the idea that self-love is crucial and important, and this made me feel some type of way. So on June 9th of 2019, Tanya wrote, "I fear that the war on obesity is lost, or has even, as is fashionable, ceased to exist for fear of upsetting people into an early grave." She goes on to explain that Nike has introduced the plus-size mannequin to celebrate the diversity and inclusivity of sport. They wear the famous Nike tick, writes Tanya, which says, "Welcome to the mainstream." Plus-size bodies are mainstream. In the UK, the average dress size is a 16, which is an American size 12. And the average size of an American woman is from a 16 to an 18, although some sources still report it being a 14. Although a lot of data shows that that was as of 10 years ago and is no longer the case. This is the most disgusting part of this entire article, so heed with caution if you might be triggered by descriptions from a clearly fat-phobic person who just hates bodies. Yet the new Nike mannequin is not a size 12, which is healthy. A size 12 UK is a size US 8, FYI. Or even a 16, a hefty weight, yes, but not one to kill a woman. A 16 again is a US 12, and that is the average size of the UK woman. That is the average dress size of UK women is a size 12. This woman, Miss Tanya Gold, thinks that the average UK dress size is a hefty weight, but not one to kill a woman. She just called the majority of the bodies in the UK of women hefty. Also, screw you, Tanya. A size 16 UK, size 12 US is not a hefty weight. That is a completely normal weight. And you are so freaking gross for putting a healthy weight at 4 sizes below the one that you deemed hefty. A normal weight, a healthy weight, is a size 12/US 8 to you, and a hefty weight is 4 sizes larger than that, 2 more jean sizes probably. How stupid do you have to be to not think about the words that are coming out of your mouth when you put words like healthy and hefty onto numbers that also have nothing to do with people's weights? When I was at the height of my eating disorder, literally wetting the bed as a 16-year-old because my body was shutting down, I think I was a size like 10 in jeans. That would have been a UK 14 if I'm not mistaken. And nothing about me was healthy, I just have big hips. Anyways, a size 16, a hefty weight, yes, but not one to kill a woman. Instead, she goes on to describe this plus-size mannequin as immense, gargantuan, and vast. She heaves with fat. It's made of plastic, Tanya. She is in every measure obese, and she is not readying herself for a run in her shiny Nike gear. She cannot run. She is more likely pre-diabetic and on her way to a hip replacement. What terrible cynicism is this on the part of Nike? She goes on in the next chunk of this article, which is so effing laughable, to talk about how advertising has bullied women for years, how the stick-thin bodies that we used to see walking up and down the runway were riddled with signs of malnutrition, in her words. And they were created to instill enough self-hatred within women so that they would go out and shop. And yet here you are insinuating, Tanya, that women who are a US size 12, a UK size 16, insinuating and implying that not only can they not run or exercise, but that they are so fat, gargantuan in your words, that they are on their way to a hip replacement. So as a woman who regularly fits into a US dress size 18, although some people on the internet like to argue with me about this, in jeans I am a 20, in tops sometimes it is from an 18 to a 16, depends on the brand, depends on the manufacturer. No matter my size, I am a plus size woman who shops in the plus size section of Nike, and I took my fat ass on a run in my Nike sports gear less than a week ago. And why not any more than that? Because I am sick, Tanya. Or is that because of my freaking gargantuan size too? There is someone on Twitter who would probably agree with you on that. I might get really emotional saying this, but I am so grateful to brands who create these plus size workout gear fits things. I am so grateful to brands like Nike who understand that there are absolute idiots in the world who have responses and prejudices like this and continue to make plus size workout gear knowing that I am not working out to lose weight. And if you are, that is amazing. And I am so happy for you. And I am so proud of you, and you go, boo boo. I work out because I want to be stronger, because I enjoy endorphins that I receive from going on walks and runs and from doing CrossFit workouts and from weightlifting, because I enjoy moving, because I enjoy being outside, because I enjoy sweating and feeling like I am getting crap out of my body. So you can take your preconceived notion that because my body is larger than yours, I can't go on a run, or that I am on my way to a hip replacement, and you can shove it. The woman writing this article is a swirl of contradiction and of seemingly some self-hatred, maybe not in the current time, but of her past body. She goes on to write about how she would never want a woman to be unhappy or hate herself, in her own words, for what she finds in the looking glass. You just described my body type as gargantuan and heaving with fat, but whatever you say. But to have control over your body, you must first know it. To be oblivious is not to be happy unless you are a child. To have control over your body, you must first know it. I know my body. Most women buying these Nike workout pants and workout bras and so on and so forth, they know their bodies. I don't need you to tell me about it. She goes on to say that the fat acceptance movement, according to her, says that any weight is healthy if it is yours. This movement, according to her, is no friend to women, even if it does seem to have found a friend in Nike. It may instead kill them, and that is rather worse than feeling sad. She goes on to say that fat acceptance is killing us. Fat acceptance is because we don't accept ourselves, and so we just find a cheap solution to the problem. I, for example, am not your doctor. I don't know your health, and I'm not here to diagnose you nor talk to you about your weight or what is healthy for you to lose or gain. Instead, I am here to say that every body type is beautiful in its own way. That every body type is worthy of love and acceptance and care. That it is not worth it to live your life in a way that makes you feel like you are unworthy of everything that you deserve because of the way that you look or because of the weight that you are. The health stuff or the idea that losing weight is what's best for someone, that's not what I'm going to preach, because that's not what I know and that's not the message that I want to spread. I am trying to word this in the best way that I know how, but I can't seem to wrap my head around this idea that somebody believes that because there is a body positivity movement, because I, for example, as someone who I would like to think at the very least has a voice in the body positive community, says to you that you in your current weight, you in your current size is worthy of love and acceptance and affection and the life that you deserve. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the idea that because I say that, I'm also saying that you shouldn't care about your health, or that it's better to be fat than a different body type. It is not as simple as putting down the effing fork. It is not as simple as going for the run. There are so many people with so many different walks of life, with so many health concerns that are none of your freaking business, who may want to lose weight or not want to lose weight for their health, for other reasons. No matter their decision, it is their decision. And it is okay to feel confident and comfortable and heck, even fashionable in some freaking workout gear that they're not buying Tanya to wear around the apartment, most likely. And if they are, it's none of your effing business. They're buying it maybe in hopes of motivating themselves to work out, maybe in the hopes of feeling cute while they work out so they can continue to want to work out, maybe in the hopes of just having some clothes that fit. Do you want us to walk around and go on runs like we're naked like cavemen? Like, where is your head at? The next part of this article focuses pretty heavily on the idea of fatness killing and people apparently wanting like public notices to be taken down over the risks of being overweight, so on and so forth. That's not what I'm here to talk about. It just seems like a very poor way to try to back up her argument that Nike shouldn't be selling workout clothes to fat women. Also, I feel like I didn't say this before, but in one point of the article, she writes, "What is obesity? I would say, as a recovering addict myself, that it is most often, but not always, an addiction to sugars and a response to sadness." It sounds like what she's implying here, and again, this is what she's implying in my opinion, so this is not meant to be any type of way. Sounds like she may have been someone who was previously overweight and seems to have lost the weight. Sounds like she believes she was sad and unhappy because of her weight, and now she's happy. Glad that she found her happiness, but my body is not the reason for depression. My body is not the result of an addiction. Also, I mean, I really just have nothing else to say to that. Also, right before what I'm about to read you, she says, "Why don't you lay down your pen and just stop eating sugar?" I'm currently editing this and I don't know how I didn't mention this in the video, but she also referred to Kim Kardashian's body as weird because it's both fat and thin, and apparently it's the ideal of gamers. The word fat should not be a slur, according to Tanya, but it should be a warning. So it worries me to see Nike, who promote athleticism, treating the obese model as potentially healthy in the cause of profit. It is as cruel as telling women that the child ballet dancer, which is how she earlier referred to thin models who walked the runway previously. We still have a lot of thin models. I don't know what you're talking about in terms of change there. And the adult entertainer body are ideal. Where is the body shape between the tiny and the immense, where the true health lives? Where is the ordinary, medium, contented woman? Where, oh where, is the middle ground? It's like she can't even hear the things that are coming out of her mouth, or rather being typed onto her keyboard. The middle ground is not hating other sizes for being included in mainstream media. You say that you don't want women to feel like they have to aspire to the child ballet dancer body, in your own words. Interesting way to describe the bodies of thin women, but okay. Or the adult entertainer body, but you cut off any hope of women being accepted in your eyes at a size UK 16 or a size US 12, which is the average size of your country. The middle ground lies there, and the middle ground lies in allowing other people to be represented through media, through clothing brands. The middle ground lies in our understanding that every body type is beautiful in its own way. And while our body type is different from theirs, the idea that all people deserve to exist on this planet with the same level of love and respect and care is normal and okay. The middle ground was cut out completely by you because, in my opinion, Tanya, Gold, ma'am, you just wanted to write a piece on how angry you are that Nike carries plus sizes. And honestly, reading your article, maybe I have an idea of why you're so angry. Maybe I have an idea of a woman who potentially grew up overweight or who became overweight in life, as you are implying. Maybe you and I share a somewhat similar life story. I have been someone who's been overweight the majority of my life. There have been seasons where I have struggled with my weight, where I've lost weight naturally, where I've yo-yoed with it. There have been seasons of eating disorder in my life. I can't imagine manifesting that frustration though, and manifesting my own self-hatred into words that are this callous over other people's current body types because I have changed. And if that's not your life story, if I made all of that up and took something out of context, I still don't understand you. The idea that there is a health cutoff at size is dangerous. And the idea that some sizes are good, and not even weights. We're not even talking about weight here. We are talking about numerical size, which often doesn't have a whole lot of correlation to weight. The idea that anyone could classify them as good or bad or right or wrong is repulsive, and this is shameful. I mean, there's no other way to come at this. I think I've said everything I need to, but this is shameful. And I think that if the person who wrote this does not feel shame over their words, maybe it's time to take a really long, hard look in the mirror. And also, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to look at yourself, maybe just look at me and hear my words to you, in that I am fat. According to you, I will be on my way to being an old woman by 50, yada, 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 yada. And I make choices for my own health outside of my size every day of my life. I am not here to gloat about those health choices. I'm not here to say that those health choices are any better or any worse than anybody else's. But what I am here to tell you is that you have no freaking idea what my blood work looks like or what the conversations I have with my doctor are about my own health. That should not be your concern. It is not your concern. You are not my doctor. You have nothing to say to me about my weight. And if you do, then don't come at it under this facade that you're doing it because fat acceptance, because body positivity, because this idea that fat bodies could possibly be represented in the way of being included in a store with clothes on a plastic mannequin heaving with fat. It's plastic. I'm literally never gonna get over it. It's effing plastic. You wanna talk about health, then talk about health. Don't bring the idea that I can't wear anything because of my size. Don't come at it from the idea that inclusion is bad. It's frustrating because at the end of the day, this article was behind a paywall. This was, according to The Telegraph, a premium article. And while I'm sure it's an opinion piece and it doesn't necessarily reflect their views, I also just think that there are certain places where you should cut the line off. And this woman bullies people the same way that she herself talks about bodies being bullied by the size of people walking on a runway. By calling a body type gargantuan, heaving with fat, by implying that someone cannot run if they are past a UK size 16, US size 12, there is a line. And I think it was well crossed in this article. So you should also be ashamed of yourself. Anyways, those are my opinions. So there you go. I know I was angrier and sassier than I usually am in this video. A lot of my body positivity videos are not like this, and they are not this animated, and they are not this intense. But I do think, in the great words of Halsey, I'm tired and angry, but somebody should be. This, I guess, is my limit, and I guess it's truly what crawls under my skin, because I can't tell you what reading that article and hearing that my body was gargantuan and heaving with fat did to me. So I can't imagine what it would do to somebody else who didn't have the knowledge that I do, that I am worthy of love and acceptance and of everything that I could ever desire in my own skin, that I'm beautiful in my own skin. Yeah, I can't imagine what that would feel like if I didn't know that, because I know how I feel knowing that I am beautiful and knowing that I deserve to be represented. So thanks, Nike. Really appreciate you. Tanya, I mean, I know like some really great CBD oil websites. Okay, I'll stop now. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Alexa, who is Tanya Gold?
Tanya Gold is fat and fatphobic. She was educated at a zoo and has written for British newspapers including The Guardian, The Daily Mail, The Independent, The Daily Telegraph, The Sunday Times and The Evening Standard, and also for the news magazine The Spectator. In 2009 she was highly commended in the Feature Writer of the Year category at the British Press Awards.